Hi folks, tying time, and there's Bad Company music playing, wonderful, and a cup of tea on the go. Lovely. Right, I've got a 4.0 Sakuma 540 on here. I'm using a little bit of varnish here onto the shank. £3 mono on this spool. Sometimes misbehaves, but it's be alright. Start at the front and start winding back. Lovely. I'm going to tie a fly about 8 inches long, something like at its longest. Okay, I tie it back to there, snip, and then carry on tying a little bit further. And then come back. I think that's in focus. Right, roughly, it's not even a half, it's less than halfway back. I'm going to start my tying there. I'm going to start with Canacolon fibre. It's lovely stuff. Some are better than others. This one is lovely to tie with. Not sure what colour it is, maybe oat or something like that. So I tie a collector piece, cut it off right at the top and face it down the shank, and I'm tying the first two pieces on the side of the shank. Roughly three turns. Make sure they're on the left hand side, on the whole side like that. Tighten it up a little bit once you've got it positioned, and then turn it over the other way. Now I want another piece exactly the same. No, not exactly the same, roughly the same thickness as the other side one. That's roughly it. Maybe a few less. Place that on the side. Again, the main bit pointing forwards. Once they're nicely tight, bit of varnish, top and bottom for this, and then these spare bits I'm going to snip them off because I don't need them. And you can't see them when the fly's tied, so it's pointless keeping them there. Then separate them into the sides and then fold them back. Fold them back. Press down with your thumb and your finger underneath to sort of flatten it. This is to provide a little bit of, bulk at the sides. Put it like that, and then wrap around a few times, making sure it doesn't slip around. It has a bit of a tendency to do so, this using mono. Sometimes it just slips off like that. I don't know why, because it's wanting to be awkward, or it knows it's on camera. Oh, come on. There we go. Marvellous. Then once I've done that, I decide the length of the fly. And I'm going to make it roughly about there. Don't bother measuring it as such. Cut it to length. Now if I just leave it like that, I won't be happy with it. I like it a nice tapered, so I use these, which are thinning scissors, and I about a third of the way back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could be 5 cuts. it's a shorter piece, it might be 4 cuts. If it's a longer piece, it might be 6 cuts. Yep, you got it. Now I've done that, see that it's getting nicely shaped. Now I'm going to turn it upside down. So the underside of the shank is pointing upwards, and I'm going to use this lovely, lovely flash, which is called Mirage Flashaboo. And it's like a goldy coloured one, and it's number... I can't tell you the number because it's the thing that where it's hung up has blanked off some of the number. But it's something 062. I've probably got it on this other bit. 3062, there you go. Mirage Flashaboo 3062. Beautiful stuff. Right. Got that, oops. Bit of necessity. Nice bit of tea. Strong Yorkshire tea, marvellous. Okay. Now we don't want all these bits the same length, so I don't know whether you can see here. But I'm sort of lengthening certain ones, keep leaving others the same short length. Let's pull that down. Oops, lost a bit. And then I'm going to gauge roughly how long I want them, which is about, yeah, that's about the whole length of the fly, so that's going to be placed there. Round we go. A couple of lighter wraps first, and then position the flash, and then wrap it on. Then these bits at the front, they're going to be folded backwards, like so. Okay. Now I'm going to tie this a different colour now. This beautiful yellow and white. Now it's quite a long piece this, so I'm going to be able to, I think, double it. That will go the full length, lovely. Okay, so I'm going to just tweak out the ends of that hair a little bit. Don't need to do much, just a bit. And then to lay that on the underside of the shank. Now I'm going to measure it against that one because that's the length I wanted. So now that one comes up to the end of there, so place that on there. I do like this colour, and the fish seem to like it as well. It's a mixture of yellow and white, and I can't get hold of it anymore. So that my remaining stock is just for me. Unless I get offered a large amount of money, which I won't do. Okay, fold that back. Get the length. Get the length so it's the same as the other piece. Snip that off. Bit of varnish on there. And then I'm going to fold this back, and it's just the right length. How delightful. I'm actually going to tie that a little bit further forwards. And then fold it back. Marvellous. Then I get both pieces together and then give them a little bit of a brush. Get the thinning scissors. Roughly a third along the shank, along the length of the thingy. Bit of hair, that's it. 2, 3, 4, 5. Brush all the bits out. Then part the hairs roughly half, 50%, and put them down there, like so. Marvellous. Lovely taper being built on there. Okay. Now on top of here, a few more strands of this Flashaboo, Mirage Flashaboo. It's gorgeous stuff. It looks lovely in the out of the water. In the water, oh my goodness. If I was a pike, I probably wouldn't be tying a fly now. Okay. Take those length of strands and then tease one end out a little bit so they're not all the same length. Place it on top, shorter than the overall length of the fly this time. Couple of wraps and then position, check the positioning and then tighten up a bit. Fold it back and tie over those folded back wraps, folded back pieces of flash. There you go. Now I'm going to put another piece of this on it. This, I think it's called oat or barley or something like that. Okay. Take a nice piece of this and then I need to sit close to this and it might be in focus. Then I'm going to tie that on the top of the hook shank. Use your other finger to keep it positioned. Do a couple of wraps, straighten it, tighten it up. Keep tightening, little tugs to tighten it nicely. It's got to withstand the pike grabbing hold of it and you pulling at one end of the pike grabbing at the other. So she's done a few wraps. Bit of this stuff. It's very good stuff. I get it in a larger pack, like a larger tub like this, then I decant it into the small bottles. Snip off those bits. Oops. Throw the scissors on the table if you can't be bothered putting them down carefully. Again, I think I need to wrap that a little bit further forwards. And then we go back. Using the scissors, closed scissors, not the open ones, just to make sure you got all the bits of hair coming back and they're not wrapped around and they're looking wrong. And from here, tie over those wraps. Give it a little tug down while you're holding the hook. Don't just do it when the hook's in the vise. And now give it a bit of a brush. Measure the length I want, which is just less by about ½ an inch or so than the previous bit. Okay, get the thinning scissors. And then roughly 1/3 of the way back. 2, 3, 4, 5. Just keeping it taut, not tight as you cut it. And then a few brushes through, and you can see the gold flash. Well, I can, you might not be able to, within the fly, looking gorgeous. Turn it over. And now I'm going to do another bit of little group of flash pieces. I don't know, about six to 8. These are slightly thinner than I use normally, so maybe 6 or 7, something like that. Get that. And pull it, tease the ends out so they're not always the same length. Straighten it up, sort the length out. And then tie them down, say fold those extras back. There we go, marvellous. And then I want another piece of this yellow and white. Not a massive piece because I don't want it to be masking the hook point too much. It's only a small piece. Oh. Damn it. Right, let's have a look. Get it roughly in the centre. Put it on top of that wrapping there. Then tighten it down. Bit of varnish. Fold it back. I know it's going to be long enough, because the previous one was, and this is going to be slightly shorter, so I know it's enough. And then into the front and just push back a bit like that. Right, now get those bits, brush them to make sure they're all facing in the same direction. Get the thing scissors. And then roughly 1/3 of the way back, 5 snips. Give it a brush and part the hairs, and then run along either side of the hook. Then turn it upside down, no, not upside down, turn it the other way up. Right, now we're coming to the last piece on top and the last piece on the bottom. That's getting nice, that. Now I'm going to do another few strands of this flash. Another few strands. This is for the top of the fly. Rest them on. Fold them back. Tie them down. Now, normally I would be now putting another piece of material on, but no, I'm not. I'm going to just do that bit of flash, and I'm going to do the underside bit of flash. And that'll do. This is flat flashaboo, not crinkled. So you'll often think, oh, I've only got about 3 pieces of flash there, and then all these bits stuck together. You got about 8. So this is lovely stuff again, and I'll keep saying that. Marvellous. Get the length, place it on there. Couple of looser wraps, get the positioning correct. That's it, and then tighten the wrap, tighten up. Okay, so now I'm going to do the last piece underneath. So another bit of this beautiful yellow and white, but not a very thick piece at all. I got enough bulk on that fly. Okay, I've got it's a rather long bit, don't know why I've got a shank that long. Get it in the middle, put it on. Wind it forwards. And back, making sure it's nice and tight. Put a little dab of varnish on, and instead of folding it back, I'm going to turn it over and do the top bit. Now the actual colour I'm going to use for the top bit is still in here. There it is. This is called something like pumpkin spice. It's a blend of hairs, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Blend of different oranges and oranges, really. Yeah, it's lovely. Browns, light browns, and beautiful. But I haven't been able to source any more of it, so what I've got left is not much, and it's all mine. So that bit goes like so. Trying to stop the hair from wrapping around your spool, as it does happen. Irritatingly so, but what the heck. These things are sent to dryers. That must be wrapped as far forward as the yellow and white one is, and that is just perfect. Delightful. Right, now I'm going to nip that top bit of excess off, little bits here. Right. Now I shall place this one back that way and this one back that way. I can tie those last two pieces in together. I shall determine their length and taper them in a minute. And then I'm going to try and put this last bit down so I'm not having a great big nose on it. I want to do it. Slipped off. If it slips off, you just unwind, start again. And sometimes you get an itch just halfway through. Sometimes you get the urgent need for a bit of tea, which has gone a bit cold now. Not wrong with that. Now, seeing as though that's the last bit to tie on there, I'm going to whip finish it. Two-fingered whip finish. Sure that's nice and tight without snapping. Just going to have some epoxy on afterwards, so right. This bit, the top bit, is going to be just a bit shorter than the previous bit. So we'll get that, keep that tapering involved. So that goes to about there. And then the bottom two pieces, bit of flash there, don't want to snip that, important stuff. Going to be the same length as that top bit. Snap them, right. Thinning scissors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brush. Now I'll get hold of this. Try and get that. There's a couple of bits of flash which are irritating me because they're wanting to be thinned and they're not going to be. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A little brush. Right. Now I'm going to get my little dish that has a bit of sponge in and dip my fingers in it because it's got water in it. Just helps take the static off the fly. Ooh. That knot at the front hasn't tied, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to rectify that with a bit of this, that and the other. So that is the finished fly. Well, it needs eyes and gills on yet, but there we go. I hope you like it. I love it. Bloody know the pike love it as well. There you go. Okay, cheers folks. Bye.